They help the terrorists on the planes. They fund them. They protect them. It's all a fraud. It's all a fake. It's all a scam. We've gotten more confirmation that the entire TSA, Homeland Security, See Something, Say Something campaign is a giant hoax. Last Sunday, live on the radio show, and then on Monday and Tuesday, privately here at the office, and then live again for over 30 minutes on air Wednesday, we tried to call the See Something, Say Something hotline number that's on the flyers and billboards being posted all over the country. Now, we called the same number a few months ago on air and reported real threats of terrorism that I'm going to cover in a moment. And we got somebody on the phone, but they didn't want our information. Now, when you call that number and other numbers, no one answers, or there's a computer message saying we don't take messages. There's supposedly terrorists everywhere. They're going to kill us any second if we don't give all of our rights up. They're putting telescreens up everywhere saying don't trust other shoppers because Al-Qaeda is hiding under every desk, under every bed.
Thank you for doing your part to help keep our hometowns safe.
But then when you try to call to report real terrorism and real threats of terror, you can't get anyone on the phone. So for the last 4 days straight, I have been calling different Homeland Security phone numbers. Finally, today, I called the head office of Homeland Security and tried to talk to their press secretary. And they told me, you've got to call local police and report a threat of terror. And then they pass that on to the Threat Fusion Center and on to the federal government. So we called Austin, and we didn't give a live person. We had to leave a message with our report. I've left other messages with the FBI and haven't gotten calls back. So the footage you're about to see illustrates that a cardboard box will blow off of a car on a highway and they'll shut it down and call out robots and create all this false hysteria. But when I'm calling them, talking about real instances that we're about to cover of government-sponsored terror and pure proof that Al-Qaeda is a CIA creation, they will not take our reports and give us the runaround. But here's another big piece of evidence. Remember back during Thanksgiving, the national protest, the opt-out day, the day before Thanksgiving, and for 2 days after, the government just turned off the naked body scanners nationwide. That was confirmed. They didn't do the pat-downs. They wouldn't give people a chance to protest and resist. Now remember, they say they've got to put you in the microwave machines and naked body scan you. They've got to stick their hands down children's pants and old ladies' dresses because the threat is so imminent. But then when there's going to be a protest nationwide and the people are about to come together with solidarity, they stand down. And then here I am for 3.5, almost 4 days, calling Homeland Security, different phone numbers, and they'll never take a report. I can never talk to a person. Here is proof that the entire Homeland Security takeover is a system to train us to spy on each other and not trust each other and only love our loving big brother Führer government. Here is that conclusive evidence. Now, that this whole terror threat is a way just to get us to submit to government and to basically live in fear. But I want you to hear what we heard. This is the number we've called, and it just basically says that the voicemail's full. So there's terrorists everywhere. They're trying to kill us. We're in all of this deep trouble. So this is the number we called.
No message will be recorded.
Okay, so we'll hang up on that. We'll try the Dallas FBI number. So we are dialing them right now. Good. Here we go, calling the Dallas FBI right now, worldwide transmission.
Good evening, Dallas FBI.
Hey, this is Alex Jones, broadcasting worldwide from Austin, Texas. I wanted to report suspicious activities to you.
Okay, sir, what's going on, sir?
Well, what's going on is I saw a Fox News and AP article, exclusive, Al-Qaeda leader dined at Pentagon just months after 9/11, Anwar al-Awlaki. Have you heard of him?
Yes, sir.
They're reporting that he met secretly with the Pentagon brass, but they say that he ran the underwear bomber. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Yes, sir.
He ran the Fort Hood shooting. I'm sure you heard of that.
Yes, sir.
He ran the Times Square bombing. I bet you heard about that.
Okay, and who are you with, sir?
Again, this is Alex Jones, broadcasting worldwide. I'm with Infowars.com, and I'm calling you to report that elements of our own government, you heard about the Gulf of Tonkin, how our own government staged the attacks on our ships to launch the Vietnam War in '64?
No, sir.
Well, I mean, my issue is our government's done this before, and Napolitano is up there at the Super Bowl saying,
we are partnering this year with the NFL on our If You See Something, Say Something campaign and launching this NFL partnership right here at the Super Bowl.
I bet you heard about the telescreens going in 9,000 locations at Walmart and other places saying report on people and stuff?
No, sir.
You haven't heard of that? Well, my issue is I want to report that Reuters reported that a CIA aircraft crashed in Mexico with 3.5 tons of pure cocaine on board, and I'd like to have the FBI investigate why the CIA is dealing drugs.
Okay, sir. You want to call back tomorrow and talk to our media coordinator, sir?
Well, I would love to talk to our media coordinator, but are you an FBI agent?
I'm an intake specialist, sir, but he's out of the office today. You call back tomorrow, I can put you in contact with our media coordinator.
Well, sir, here's the reason I called the Dallas FBI. Napolitano's up there saying report anything suspicious. And so if you have a group that's been caught doing this stuff over and over again, I have a responsibility to report on them. And she said it's my responsibility, and I agree with her. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. But the larger issue is I called the See Something, Say Something number on the Homeland Security website. Have you heard of the See Something, Say Something program?
No, sir.
Have you heard about how the head of Homeland Security is saying report anything suspicious?
What was that, sir?
Have you heard the head of Homeland Security say report anything suspicious?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'm here reporting to you that the number one guy in Al-Qaeda under bin Laden is secretly meeting at the Pentagon, and Fox News and AP are reporting on it. So I think that's a really, really big deal. And what I'm telling you, sir, is I tried to call the See Something, Say Something number, and it goes to some type of weird computer voicemail. And so I'm worried. I mean, if we've got a military-industrial complex staging events and staging crises as a pretext to take our liberties, or even if I believe the military-industrial complex and that there's, evil Al-Qaeda hiding under every rock, how am I supposed to be able to call in and report it if they're not answering it? I mean, we've got a major security issue here if I'm trying to call Homeland Security phone numbers live here on air and they're not working. I mean, I'm sure you heard about the TSA stand-down on Thanksgiving because there was going to be that national...
Sir, why are you calling the Dallas FBI? That's what I'm curious about.
I'm calling the Dallas FBI because Napolitano's on TV. She's there inspecting it. A headline, Homeland Security Secretary inspects Super Bowl site, says fans have shared responsibility for security at game and across the country. And I looked for a number in Austin in the phone book and online and couldn't find it. So the nearest big city is Dallas.
For the FBI, sir?
Yes. Would you like to give me the number to Austin? This is the FBI, correct?
Yes, sir. This is the FBI.
Okay, well, I called the Homeland Security See Something, Say Something, and I've called that 2 months ago and got a hold of them. And so they're not answering the phone. It's just some computer voice. We just called them live. So I'm calling you right now because I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. We've got the number one Al-Qaeda operative at the Pentagon. I want him arrested immediately.
Okay, sir. I'll make a phone call, sir, all right?
Okay, well, we'll try to call you back. I appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to call this hoax for what it is. We've got to come out. And by the way, we're on to something now. Just like we're on to something with Obama shutting down the coal-powered plants, and we're on to something with the TSA, and we're more and more driving national news. We're on to something here because going back about 30 minutes ago, I said, let's double-check those numbers before we call them. And my crew of 3 people in there have been nonstop calling different Homeland Security phone numbers. And guess what? Nobody's answering. Okay, why am I about to call my public servants, the White House, the main Homeland Security number, because we've called the See Something, Say Something numbers that are on the flyers they're putting out, and most of the time it doesn't even have a voicemail. It's a computer and then beeps, and you don't even know who you're calling. And these are their listed numbers. We've gotten them off their Facebook. We've got them off their flyers. So I've been forced to call the FBI, and I did this on Sunday live, and report real evidence of terrorism. Let's go ahead and on air call the White House, and it's a public number. It's 202-456-1414. Okay, we're calling the White House. People are so shocked by me doing this. I don't think it's that big of a deal. People are like, it couldn't be real. He wouldn't dare. Well, watch me again.
The White House.
Hey, this is Alex Jones. I'm broadcasting worldwide on AM and FM, shortwave, satellite, and XM. And I would like to talk to someone in the White House. About a news report they put out about yours truly, the chief of staff did on Friday, claiming that Obama policies aren't causing some of the blackouts around the country. And I'd like to report that the See Something, Say Something phone numbers that they're giving out aren't being answered or are going to voicemail with no description of who it is. Who do you think I should talk to?
Okay, and who are you with?
I am Alex Jones. With the Genesis Communications Radio Network, and I'm calling my public servants to a report that they put out, a false report about us on whitehouse.gov front page.
1 moment.
One moment.
Thank you for calling the White House comment line. We appreciate your call. If you are calling from a touch-tone phone, please press 1. If you are calling from
Go ahead and get into the voicemail. See, you go into a straight dead end trying to call the government.
If you would like to leave a comment for the president, please press 1.
Press 1.
If you are Thank you for calling the White House comment line. All comment line operators are currently assisting other callers. Please hold for the next available volunteer operator.
Volunteer.
For additional information about the White House, please visit www.
They can pay mercenaries $180,000 a year to kill women and children overseas, but they can't pay somebody to answer the phone. Okay, let's do this. I know why you guys weren't just going to number 1. You wanted to see if there was an option. I've called before. I don't think there's an option. But let's hang up on it and call back and ask if I can talk to a live person. I want to talk to a live person here on air. Don't worry, we're going to get some action when I call Homeland Security. Well, that went well. Let's call them back again. I guess now when you call the White House, they just hang up on you. See how this goes here. And everywhere politicians go, everything they're doing, we should talk to them. Hello? So they got our number, huh? Dial them from another phone line. Can we do that? Oh, boy.
Thank you for calling the White House. Press 1 for the comment line to leave a message for the president, or visit our website at
White House.
Hey, hi, this is Alex Jones. I'm broadcasting live worldwide right now from Austin, Texas. I would like to be able to speak to either the assistant or to the White House communications director because there was a report Friday at whitehouse.gov claiming that my report at prisonplanet.com was false, dealing with White House energy policy contributing to the blackouts.
Just a moment, sir.
Ma'am, is there an actual person? Because I've been sent to voicemail.
I'm not sure. I'd have to reach out to the office for you. 1 moment.
Please reach out. Thank you. We're reaching out now. Maybe Rahm Emanuel will answer.
Media Affairs.
Hey, this is Alex Jones broadcasting live worldwide. There was a report put out at whitehouse.gov last week by Mr. Pfeiffer. What is he, the communications director?
Yeah, hold on just 1 second.
All right. That's enough. Let's go ahead and hang up there. We got to get moving on here. And so now I'm going to call the Department of Homeland Security itself and ask who I should talk to from the See Something, Say Something operation. And we should all be calling the media, too, asking why these phone numbers don't work. Let's go ahead and call the Department of Homeland Security, the main number, 202-282-8000, see if this works.
Good afternoon, Department of Homeland Security. Operator Force to help you.
Hey, this is Alex Jones broadcasting worldwide on the Genesis Communications Radio Network. I've been calling Homeland Security See Something, Say Something published numbers, and they've just been going to voicemail, not even saying it's Homeland Security. And Big Sis has said that if we see something, we should say something immediately. And so I've got some reports of potential terrorist threats that I'd like to relay, but I don't know what numbers to call, and so I really need to get those, and my listeners need to know those numbers as well, because again, they're putting telescreens at the Walmarts saying, kind of watch the other shoppers and people. So I figured if it's that serious that I better get all my listeners, to I guess get signed on to report the threats. Janet Napolitano is in the news today saying that the terror threat is the most heightened since 9/11. And she says we need to have that Patriot Act reauthorized. Who should I talk to there?
Well, see, here's the thing, sir. DHS here takes your concern very seriously, sir, but our partners with local law enforcement to access direct all suspicious activity to them, sir. So
through the threat fusion centers, but I have DHS see something, say something flyers that has this 877 number and other numbers. You're saying that citizens cannot report things to our loving federal government?
No, sir. I'm not saying that, sir. But it starts off with the local law enforcement, sir.
Okay. I think that's what's the phone number for the head of the rollout of the See Something, Say Something? You know what? Can you put me in touch with the press office of Homeland Security?
Stand by, please.
Guys, get the number to the Austin Police Department. I'm going to call them. I guess that's 311.
DHS Public Affairs.
Hey, this is Alex Jones, and I'm broadcasting worldwide right now from Austin, Texas. And I've been trying to call numbers on DHS flyers for See Something, Say Something.
Yes.
And there's not even a message. It's just a computer voice. I called it 2 months ago and was able to get somebody. It routed me to Atlanta. And then I'm being told I need to call local police. But I'm trying to report a federal matter that's going on there by the Potomac in D.C. at the Pentagon.
And you would like to report something?
Yes, I'd like to report it. And they told me I needed to call local law enforcement.
Yes, you would have to call them, and then they in turn will get in contact with the FBI. Then they will contact us.
Everything nice and compartmentalized. But, I mean, they're setting up federally run threat fusion centers. I mean, they're already getting rid of the 10th Amendment. I mean, maybe I should just call the Pentagon itself? I mean, maybe the Office of Security at the Pentagon?
They may be able to assist you.
Well, ma'am, just so you know, I mean, it's not like something I think. This is Fox News exclusive. Al-Qaeda leader died at the Pentagon just months after 9/11. And they say Anwar al-Awlaki met with the Secretary of the Army and others when he was already on the news as one of the top terrorists. Okay, so I've been instructed by Homeland Security to call local police, even though they've got a federally run threat fusion center down here. I'm going to see if I can get routed over to the DPS Command Center, Little Martial Law Center, and report real issues that are taking place. Let's go ahead and dial the Austin 311. And then I'm going to request, well, of who I should talk to.
Thank you for calling Austin 311. All calls may be monitored or recorded. Please stay on the line for the next available agent. Austin 311, Tanika, may I help you?
Hey, this is Alex Jones. I'm broadcasting worldwide live right now, and I've been trying to call Homeland Security to report evidence of where the terrorist may be, and I've been told to call the local police. I guess, can you patch me through to the Threat Fusion Center here in Austin? Or should I talk to Arte Saveda? I've interviewed him live in studio a few times. Or should I talk to detectives? Because I'm really, trying here. I've called Homeland Security numbers and nobody even answers them. A box blows off on I-35 and they send out the robots like it's the end of the world. When a box of toilet paper blows out the back of a truck. But I'm sure finding it hard to put in a serious report here.
Okay, one moment, sir. I'm sorry to hear about that. I'll be happy to go ahead and get you transferred through. They advise you that you need to speak with the local police department?
Yes, they did.
Okay, well, let me get you transferred through, sir. You're calling from 512-386.
Yes.
Okay, one moment, sir. Let me go get you transferred through. Thank you for calling Austin 311. Please hold.
Austin Police on emergency. This is Amanda. How may I assist you?
Hey, Amanda. This is Alex Jones broadcasting live worldwide, and I've been trying to report where there's clear evidence that the terrorists are being commanded from here inside the United States. And I've called D.C., I've called Dallas, I've called the FBI, and they have directed me to call my local police department.
For what reason, I'm sorry?
I have Fox News headline, exclusive. Al-Qaeda leader died at the Pentagon just months after 9/11. Anwar al-Awlaki, who reportedly ran the Fort Hood attack, the underwear bomber, the Times Square attack, and many other attacks, is a known U.S. government agent run out of the Pentagon. And I have mainstream news here, and I want to report that the terrorists are being run out of the Pentagon.
Okay, and how does that pertain to Austin Police?
Well, I was told by Homeland Security in Washington, D.C. just minutes ago that I had to file it with you. Are you saying I cannot file this and other reports? A new document's been released via FOIA, confirmed FBI got warning day before OKC, and the head of the anti-terror unit was actually there and lied and said he was in Dallas. I've got, man, this is serious. You think I'm going to call the police live on air with something that isn't serious?
Okay.
Are you a police officer?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I need to talk to somebody. I've called Homeland Security, I've called the FBI in Dallas, and I'm calling you. I need to report this.
Austin Police.
Pardon me?
And they tell you to call Austin Police?
Yes, they say call your local police, and then I file the report with you, and then they will file it through the Threat Fusion Center to Homeland Security.
Do you want our intelligence unit?
Your call is being answered by Audix, extension 417 is not available. To leave a message, wait for the tone. Otherwise, for assistance, press 0.
Gotta love it.
Record at the tone.
I'm Alex Jones, calling live, broadcasting on the air. I am very concerned. Since Sunday, I've called the FBI live on air because the Homeland Security See Something, Say Something phone number on their flyers goes to a voice box that doesn't tell you who it is, nothing. They're putting TV screens in 9,000 Walmarts and malls and other grocery stores saying report on everybody, spy on your neighbors. Well, I've got real issues to report, and I've been told by Homeland Security in D.C., by the FBI in Dallas, and others that I need to call the intelligence unit and that you need to take my report. And that when you take my report, that I will then be able to have you give that information to the local spy federalization surveillance center known as the Threat Fusion Center. I'm going to give you my producer's number, and I'm also give you my number, but we're going to have to fade me down live on air right now so that I don't give that number out over air. Okay, so I'm reporting the Pentagon created Al-Qaeda in 1979. I'm reporting that they funded them and protected them. Newsweek has also, and don't laugh at this. I want you to look it up and find out it's true. I mean, are you just going to ignore this when you pull up the fact that hijackers were trained at U.S. military bases and the head of the Defense Language School told that to the San Jose Mercury News as well and Newsweek? Or are you just going to ignore this? Okay, I'm reporting real information here, okay, and I'm upset about it, okay? And I'm not just going to sit here like a jellyfish anymore when I have stacks of government documents that the government was involved in Oklahoma City, involved in 9/11, and all of these places, and I'm going to continue to call state, federal, and local police departments.
You have 15 seconds to finish recording. Record at the tone.
Oh, I've got a key intelligence report for you, but I've got 15 seconds left. I wonder if I'll hear from you, but you guys already know the terror threats manufactured. It's all about enslaving us. Well, it's a sad day for America. God bless you. I just illustrated to you, you can't get these people on the telephone, and you can't report terrorism. And the coup de grace in all of this, the thing that illustrates it better than anything, and Bob Barr's getting ready to sue over it with his Liberty Guard. They've done FOIA requests on this, and those are being ignored. They turned off all the scanners nationwide and the rape down, pat downs, the microwave machines, all of it, the microwave ovens they put us in. They turned those all off on the day before Thanksgiving, and 2 days after, when they knew people were having a nationwide protest to say, we have a Fourth Amendment, we have liberty, because they know the threat isn't real. They got to stick their hand down every old lady's pants. They've got to body scan every little kid. They got to humiliate us and interrogate us because Al-Qaeda is everywhere. As Janet Napolitano said, it's now the American people. They've made that flip from men in caves in Central Asia, from Pakistan to Afghanistan to Iraq into the Middle East to America. And they got telescreens going in, report everybody, report, call the locals. I'm calling up reporting the fact that the so-called terrorists were protected and given visas into the U.S. in 2001, just like it's now been confirmed, Detroit Free Press, State Department, that the government helped get the underwear bomber on the plane and protected him. This is admitted. And so let's use this corrupt globalist takeover against them. Use their own system, and everybody, call your local police, call your threat fusion centers, call the White House, call Homeland Security and say, listen here, servants. We know your bosses are carrying all this out to take our liberties, and we're done. We're calling you out. We know you're behind it. We know you're the ones that are doing it, and we're through with you. Stop staging stuff and going out and finding crackpot lunatics to carry out events as a pretext to take my children and everybody else's children's futures and to steal all the bank accounts dry with the offshore banks raping this country. Tired of it. I just illustrated what a fraud it all is. They help the terrorists on the planes. They fund them. They protect them. They stand down when you're going to have a protest so that you can't ever have a victory. They won't answer their telephones. It's all a fraud. It's all a fake. It's all a scam. Pray for us. We're continuing on. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the sites, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want. Will the mainstream media pick this up? Will they try to call in terror reports themselves and verify for themselves what a fraud this is? Don't count on it. The power structure wants to use terror and the fear of it to take average Americans' liberties away.
There is no question that we have made many important strides in securing our country from terrorism since 9/11. But the threat continues to evolve, and in some ways, the threat today may be at its most heightened state since the attacks nearly 10 years ago. In addition to the core al-Qaeda group, which still represents a threat to the United States despite its diminished capabilities, we now face threats from a number of al-Qaeda associates that share its violent extremist ideology. Among these groups, we are also seeing an increased emphasis on recruiting Americans and Westerners to carry out attacks.